Hi guys, and welcome back to our channel. In last week's video you will have seen Rhys installing all the different types of insulation.
And if you haven't seen that video, make sure you check that out before watching this one. And now that most of the insulation is done, we finally make a start on plasterboarding.
So let's get into the video.
Right guys, so 90% of the ceiling is insulated. I've left some across above Natasha's head and over there because I need to pull some lights for the outside. Flipping hell's been a long day. I need to pull some cable for the outside lights, which is going to go across there. But we're going to start off with our first board along this edge up here. I've already got on the stand over there with the cutout and the holes for the lights. Hopefully this just goes up in place, fits perfectly, and I screw it straight in. So this is a plasterboard lifter. These fireboards are 30 kilos each, and there's no way me and Natasha can be lifting these on our own. So all you do is sit on this little edge here, you pull it back like so, and it flattens her out. And then you've got a little winch here, winds her up, you get into place on 3 wheels there, so you can adjust it, get it perfect, and tack it up into place.
So we'll put you on the GoPro and you can watch Rhys put the plasterboard in.
So guys, I thought I'd just give you a quick update of what we've been doing. We've been very quiet, as in filming wise. We've just been trying to crack on because we got our kitchen coming and we want to get everything done. So this is what we've been up to. To start off, we had all the electrics done and all dropped into place. I've boarded the ceiling, fireboarded around all the steels, insulated all the joists in between. We started insulating in the bathroom. We've also plasterboarded some wall here and boarded the ceiling. We've done a lot of messy work. As you can see, I've just got rubbish everywhere. We've insulated the ceiling up here and I'm about to start battening it. We've also boarded this ceiling up here, done some partial insulation where we're not going to be able to get to between the ceiling and underneath the floor in the attic. Framed out some timber work as well. We've got the underfloor heating, which is currently on and is lovely. The floors are nice and warm, it's nice and toasty inside. I've also counter-battened and installed the ceiling in here. And done the same over here, counter-battened most of the ceiling here. I've just got to take some brickwork out here, put some bricks in there, fly the ceiling through, and we start boarding the walls. All the counter-battening's done in the hallway and in the bathroom, so it's all ready to go. I'm just literally slowly doing a couple of bits each night, not pushing ourselves too much, but just trying to get it done because the kitchen's due within like a week, and we need to get all this sorted. Right guys, jumped a little further again on what we are doing. I'm plasterboarding this wall. These are 2.7 meter boards, but the cuts are about 2.6, so we're ripping 100mm off the bottoms. Like in the front room with the plasterboard for dot and dabbing, just packing it up an inch with the plasterboard doubled up. And then I'm cutting out for my back boxes, roughly. And once this is dot and dabbed, it should look alright. But how I'm doing my back boxes is I'm getting an offcut of plasterboard, rubbing it around the edge of the face of this board, putting my board in position and giving it a tap, which is then giving me my outlines to cut out. So I'll overcut them by like a mil or two just to make sure they'll fly on, and if I need to make any alterations I can just run my pad saw along the edge of the back box, make sure I don't hit any of the cables because we don't want to be doing any rewiring. Right guys, so it's just like that, where it's a little bit tight on the edges. I can just run my pad saw
around the edge, just clearing it through so this can pass without fouling and breaking the board. And that is the back boxes cleared out around, and it fits on perfectly, as you can see. Clearance all the way, nothing stopping it. Right, so it's starting to get dark now, so I've got all these boards cut and prepped and dry fitted. Pulled all my cables out of the way just to make sure they don't get caught. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take that board off, lean on that one, take that board off, lean on that one, move that over there, get the first two boards dot and dabbed and see how much adhesive I got left, and then I might call it a night, we'll see. But yeah, let's get this mixed up and get on the dot and dab. Right, so I'm about to mix up my dot and dab adhesive. So we've got universal bonding compound by Siniet, I think. We've got 12 litres of water, got a corded mixer with a paddle, well, a mixing paddle. I should really be using a proper plasterer's mixing paddle because it can burn out these drills, but it'll do for now. So we'll mix this now. It's going to be nice and sticky. We're going to get straight onto it, put in a solid bead across the bottoms, tops and sides, dabs up the centres at 400 centres, dabs all the way around the socket. But the only difference is, guys, I'm going to be sticking a dab about 2.3 meters solid all the way across this wall, because that's where the top of my fixings are going to be for all the cupboards, and I want to make sure when I drill through, put plugs and screws in, it's not going to compress and crush the plasterboard, and we're going to have a solid thick bead of adhesive, so it's going to be impossible to sort of press the plasterboard in and crush through, if that makes sense. So it's things like that you should think of. I might do a few dobs about 870 all the way along the wall as well. That's where I'm going to be fixing in my base units, but that's not as important as the wall units because obviously they need to stay up. So let's get going. Right guys, so we've had our kitchen delivered by DIY Kitchens. We're sort of ready to get the kitchens in now. I'm going to start with the centre unit, which is the base unit for the sink, only because we need to get a temporary sink back in. So this is the area where the kitchen is going. There's obviously going to be the island by here. But yeah, got our plumbing in. I just need to do a waste pipe out of that soil stack down there, and we are ready to go. We've got all our electrics in, ready to go. I've just opened up the sort of user guide pack, and we've got a little box from DIY Kitchens, and I'm looking forward to some of these treats.
We're not going to show you in this video how Rhys installed the kitchen, so make sure you're subscribed to see this video in the future.
So this is the standard we're trying to get all the rooms, guys. Insulated plasterboard on the external walls, new boarded ceilings. So this is the other bedroom, and as you can see, it's still storage. We've only boarded the ceiling, and we've got to finish boarding all the external walls ready for plastering. So we've started putting our door linings in. This is the first fixed door lining. The rest are just in place ready to go. But that means we can start boarding and skimming up to the linings, and it's pretty much getting towards a point where we'll be decorating soon. So this is the bathroom. We've temporarily got the bath in and running because we need somewhere to shower and, well, bath and keep clean. We've boarded the ceiling, boarded the walls. The only things we've got left to do now is prep these 2 brick walls for tiles and plaster and finish the boxing in for the system. So once again, we're not far off this room as well. So the first thing I had to do before we boarded all the ceilings was insulate it and make sure the electrics were in. So the ceilings are boarded, a lot of it is fireboarded because of all the steels. And then from there, we dot and dab the wall for the kitchen to go in. We dot and dab the wall to the side where the utility is going to go. And I've just been working on all the reveals and the heads of the openings to make sure they're all plumb, level and square. But now we're going to start working on this wall behind me.
Been using G-Tech Universal Bonding Compound. It tells you on the bag it's 12 litres to one bag, so I worked out 12 litres on the bucket and just fill it up with water, give it a good mix, and it should be nice and sticky, ready for dot and dabbing. It's now 7 o'clock, as you can probably tell it's nice and dark outside, and I just want to get a couple of boards up on the wall, which is just above those two boards there, and once that's done I'm going to get the reveal behind me done and call it a night. We're studding out the steelwork now, ready to take the fireboard. So I've dot and dabbed this wall here. I'm going to show you what I'm doing. We're just cutting these noggins about 1 to 2 mil bigger than the actual opening here. So they're really snug. That's not going anywhere, that's rock solid. I'm putting it flush with the steel, if you can see there, and up on the top there. Because from this timber here to the back of the plasterboard is a 25 mil gap. So that gives me a perfect run now. I can put timber on the bottom and at the top, 2 parallel all the way down. I can level up the bottom one perfectly, cut the plasterboard to that height, screw it on, and then all I need to do is fix up a screw into the timber, which is on this edge of the steel, and then I can use adhesive onto the underside of the steel here. So that's the plan. I'm doing 400 centres, working our way down. This has got to be fireboarded because obviously it's steel work. Same on the reveal over there, steel by there, so fireboard there. And that is the plan to get this done. Alright guys, so I got all those noggins in, they're all solid. I had to plumb them up because the steel's a bit twisted, so the tops were too far out. So I had to pull it back in this way to straighten it up. So they're all level now. All I'm going to do is bang a big blob of expandable foam behind each one so it sort of packs her out and grabs the timber and the steel, even though that's not going anywhere. And then before I do that, I'm going to get a bit of rock wool insulation, put it in between the noggins, put my timbers over the front, and then we can board it. I bang the laser line across just so I can get the plasterboard bang on that laser, so this is level. So then when I chuck my board underneath and fix in, it sits level all the way, and I can just put some timber packers on the back edge just to hold the board in place while it sets. So as you can see, we've got rock wool insulation in between the steel and the timber, and that's just to try and stop any transfer of cold coming through from the steel. We get this boarded now in fireboard, and once all this is done, we're ready for plaster. Right guys, I'm going to use some of this adhesive now to fix this board up on the underside, but I've got timber, so I'll fix the screws along the front, adhesive on the back. I've got a length of batten there, which I'm going to wedge up with a pair of ladders just to hold the board in place and level. I'm going to whack my laser on just to make sure the front and back are level. And once that's in and set, we're good to go. Last time we used this, I made a mistake of not taking out the nozzle in the end, which is this piece here, which has got a really fine hole in the end, which would not let out any foam, and if it did, it'd come out squirting or not at all. So this is more controllable. I'll put a nice bead along the back, a couple of dots in the middle, and hopefully it'll expand nice and stick nice. Right, so it turns out guys, I don't need to stick any packer up here. Those fixings across the edge are secure enough to get that timber in. So as you can see, lasers across there, it's just above a bit. So I'm hoping that foam will expand ever so slightly and just push it down a couple of mil. But if it doesn't, that doesn't matter. You're not going to notice that couple of mil on the head. So yeah, happy with that. Let's move on to the next ones. We are now fully boarded around the reveal, so I'm going to start putting the angle beads on. Just one little tip to note when putting angle beads on. When you marry up the corners, you want to make sure they meet up nice and perfectly. You don't want them overlapping, because when they plaster, you will see those little bits. So all I'm doing first is I'm offering up the leg of the reveal, holding a piece across the head, and just making sure it's the right height. So when I put the head bead in, it matches the corners perfectly both sides.
So apart from the obvious fact that we're saving a lot of money by Rhys doing all the boarding and all the beading, the other main reason why Rhys wanted to do it was he spent so long getting the brickwork and everything perfect outside. He didn't want somebody just to come along and kind of mess up the plasterboard and not get it plumb and flush. So that's kind of why we've opted for Rhys to do it himself. The only thing we will end up outsourcing is going to be somebody coming in and actually doing the plastering. Rhys did really want to have a go, but with how big the house is, it's probably easier and much quicker for somebody else to come in. So when that happens, we'll let you know, and we'll let you know how much that cost us and what it looks like. Thanks for watching our video. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to like and subscribe. We will be back next week where we are fitting door linings. We're doing some more raking out of the fireplace and continuing on with the plasterboarding, ready for the plaster to start.